My name is Nicole. I'm an Integration Analyst here at NetDirector. My primary focus is on new implementations, but I also help my clients on troubleshooting any type of mapping errors or guidance on the best practices, basically to help them get the most they can out of their NetDirector transactions. Probably the time that we get the most questions about can NetDirector help is usually when there's a change in the industry, whether it be good or bad. For example, a few years back when they wanted all the files to go to mediation, right? So that was a lot of new steps in the servicer platforms, the servicer requiring this and that, and just a little change in the industry, like judicial foreclosures requiring every foreclosure to go to mediation, it set off a whole new teams and departments and documents for firms to handle and try to navigate to. And so usually when that happens it's a great time to contact your NetDirector analyst and say, listen, we've got this, how can you help? And that's where we get involved, and that's where we really get excited, because then we can look at the process. We look at our vendors and our partners and we say, okay, how can we automate this for you? How can we help you? And I've seen that. I've been in this industry for quite a bit of time, and I've seen that happen a lot of times. And what happens sometimes is maybe that process goes away. But what we've learned from it is that, oh, if we can do it here, well, we can just make a few changes and be able to do it here. So the industry is always changing. There's always going to be new trends, but we just have to adapt to it and see what we can do. We have a very innovative team here, and we're always having conversations like, what can we do next? So I think it helps. I had one client one time that had a large project of transfer files, and they needed help updating one step in a servicer platform. And what the issue was for them is they didn't really want to spend the time and the money with their IT department to do it for a one-shot kind of deal. So using what I have, just my basic knowledge of the industry and what I have learned from NetDirector, and then teaming with our IT and development team, we were able to come up with a solution so they could send a bunch of transactions for one step, one time. There was really no programming required on their side. We were able to do it on our side, and they finished their project within the timelines that they were expected to do. I don't know if their ecosystem would change very much. Your most valuable resource is your people. However, I think the way they do the work would probably change. For example, someone who spent 2-3 hours a day updating a task over and over could now probably do something like a half hour of running an exception report, because NetDirector already populated all those transactions for you in the client system. So their ecosystem's still the same. You still have the same resources, the staff, the same team, but now how you use the team, you're just using it a little bit more wisely. When you think that the volume is going to change, or you think that the industry is going to change, contact NetDirector first. So when it does change, because we know it's going to change, it always does, right? You want to be prepared. And I think right now is a perfect example of that, right? Because we know that the foreclosure industry has been in a new predicament that we've never been in before. It's unprecedented. And it's going to change. So once you know, and we watch the trends, we watch the news, we watch the mortgage banking industry, that, hey, something's going to change soon. Something's going to be different. I would say that is the time to start talking to the experts and say, you know what, we think this is going to happen. How can you help us? Because you don't want to be down the road and everything is blown up, or you're trying to hire a lot, or you do something. Talk to NetDirector first. See what we can do, how we can help. Because lots of times we'll have a conversation and be like, oh, well, we don't do that, but let's look into it and maybe we can. And that way you're prepared, because that change is going to come. But it's just better to be prepared for the change and be able to swim through it.